Okay, thank you so much, my friend, for coming to the Clear Lake Baptist Chapel. And today I will be talking about how I felt in a moderate Muslim church. I do not plan to make this talk that you may have some kind of conflictions, but I just wanted to make it so that you may understand how the life is, how the church impacted many communities, cults, groups. I cannot say religion, but cults, because cult always springs up from a religion. It doesn't. It should not be called religion when it springs up. Christianity sprang from Judaism. If somebody called me a Jew, or somebody called me a Messianic Jew or anything, I do not mind. Why? Because my basis is Judaism. Or if somebody called me a moderate Jew, I don't mind. If somebody called me an ancient Jew, I do not mind, because Jesus was a Jew. And I believe he was my Messiah and he was my Savior. And he taught me who God is. So I do not mind anything about it. If somebody call him by a Jewish name, somebody call him by title, by his original name, I do not mind anything. Why? Because I learned all that and I seeked him, that he is a great Messiah who taught me who God is. So I was going to this Mormon church. It's called LDS Church too. I do not know why it is called church, because churches were started in the Greek ideology, in the Greek time. That's why they are called church. Church is not a Jewish or Hebrew name. It's a Greek name. They can call themselves church, but they should not call, because Mormonism started about 200 years ago. There are few things they match with Sikhism, with Punjabis, Sikh, a little bit, not all of them, but because that time the Sikhism started, and Joseph Smith, he copied Islam and he made his own group. And there are many similarities in them. When I first came to United States, I was captured by them from the airport. I met two guys who were missionaries, and very soon they were very loving people. They showed me love, and especially when you are to a distant land and somebody try to talk with you, somebody try to offer you a glass of water, you feel that that person loves you. And that is true. I would say American people, they are very loving people, though their culture is little individual. They believe in individualism. Um, but I would say that American people, they love people. They try to understand each other, and they are very humble people. If you would say literally all of them, I cannot say anything. I cannot go rationally with your literalism. I would say that since I came to America, I met many people, many Americans, many my American teachers, my classmates, my roommates. I was impressed by them. I was impressed by them that I learned a lot of morality and ethics from them. When I came from my country, I did not know any kind of ethical manners or morality, because I grew up in a Muslim culture. In the Muslim culture, I always grasped to tell a lie, to justify myself with my lies, with my make-up personality. So when I started going to the Mormon church, I was very impressed of the church. I met many friends. They taught me a little about Bible, but First of all, I would like to confess that I did not know Bible that time. My parents did not teach me, but I would not blame them because my parents, they came from very isolated places where Christianity was just a name. And then they grew up in a Muslim culture, in a Muslim country after 1947 when Pakistan was separated from India. So my father and my mother's families, they always struggled for food because they were Christians. They were not treated good by the Muslims. And moreover, Pakistan is not a rich country, it's a very poor country. And wherever there is poverty, there is always evil working there because it is a test for them. I believe, according to the Bible teaching, wherever there is poverty, there is God as well as there is Satan. Both work at a time, and then a person has to come out of it so that he could prove that he's godly or he's seeking God. So when I visited this Mormon church, I was very much impressed by this church. I was baptized in Pasadena Church, which is on Yellowstone Road or Yellowstone Drive. So I went back to my country after staying in America for almost 4.5 years. I went back to my country. But this legacy of the Mormon church, my baptism, my temple recommendation, and my elder certificate, I took with me, and I cannot say that I was very, very happy, but I wanted to understand this church. It took me a long time. It took me a long time to understand this church, but when I understood this church, I came to this conclusion that I should share with you what did I feel. As far as the people are concerned, people are very good. It's same like Mohammedan cult, that if you meet Mohammedan people, they are good people. All of people are not bad, and all Christians are not bad. All Mormons are not bad. People are good and bad everywhere. People go through sin. People go through good. People go through evil. That is the walk of humanity. How we seek God, that is called theology. So when I joined this church, I was happy to meet people because people were very good. They treated me very good, and still I would be thankful to God for their good manners, morality, and ethics. But this thing does not stay for a long time. After all, you have to find the absolutism. What is the absolutism? What is the truth? Because Jesus said, you find the truth and the truth will set you free. Nothing else can make you free, my friend, because the shackles of this world are all evil. So when I was going through the Mormon church, I went through a lot of things which showed me, and I was a little bit confused if it is a modern Muslim church. But very soon after studying it and after studying the rationality and reason in my own university, I came to understand that Mormon church plagiarized Islam in the past, or they plagiarized some kind of Egyptology that they confined it so hard and so great that its knots are so deep that it is very difficult to find the bend. So the first similarity that I found in the Mormon church, that was, it is a remarkable fact that Mormonism, which began as a sort of imitation of biblical Christianity and Islam, which began as a sort of imitation, plagiarism of Judaism, both have such striking similarities between their prophets, their writings, and even their history of dealing with those around them, whom they deemed infidels or unbelievers. I was working on a store, on a convenience store. A guy whose name was Jonathan, he used to come there. He used to wear a shirt, a t-shirt, on which it was stated infidel. Fidelity mean loyalty, and infidelity is opposite to that. So, but in the Mohammedan point of view, infidel are those people who do not know God. As a kind of metaphysics, or as a kind of metapolitics, or if you study psychology in metaconscious, they believe that this duty is given to them. Who gave them this duty? They name him Allah or the moon god. But according to Christianity, as Jesus explained in John 1:18, nobody has ever seen God. If you take the word ever in Greek, because New Testament is translated from Greek to Urdu, English, Punjabi, Hebrew, Aramaic. So if you take that, you would understand that it never happened in the history. So about 2000 years ago, Jesus is explaining that nobody has ever seen God. And there comes a man whose name is Muhammad in 571 or 630 AD, and he explains that he met God, and his name is different, and he met the archangel Gabriel. Automatically, if you are a good student, if you are a good disciple or a good pupil, you would surely try to seek out if he is telling the truth. You cannot say, oh, he is born from here, he's born there, he's this, and he would say the truth. How do we know that? I did not grow up in a Muslim family. I grew up in a Muslim country where people were always hated. People didn't love each other. I mean, Muslims or the Mohammedans, they do not love each other, but they say each other brothers and sisters. When they address people on the television, they address them all Muslims. If there are, let's say, if there are 95% Muslims and 5% Christian, Hindus, Qadiani or Punjabis, Sikh or whatever, those 5% are not a part of their community. When you shun out a person from your community, from your group, or from your family, that person is called a disowned person, a disowned child, a disowned member. So we were disowned by the Islamic community or the Mohammedan community. So then the other thing is, most of the Mohammedans, they call us by, because Christ's name is Isa in Arabic. From where did they take it? I have no idea about that. I couldn't find it even if I studied almost 12 years theology and philosophy and the comparative cultures and religions. I couldn't find the word Isai. Where did this word come from? Or who made this word? Because I came to know and I came to understand Muhammad was an uneducated person who didn't go to school, who didn't know how to write, who didn't know how to read. How could he make up? How could he construct a religion? How could he construct a plan of life or a culture or whatever? I mean, the Quran describes us, and how could he make up all these statements and all that? A time would come, if you would study, you would surely understand that he is not the one who made those things. With the passage of time, people piled up and they gave the name to Muhammad, who was not educated and who was more with who was more a warrior kind of person who wanted to reach and capture and invade lands. How could he have relationship with God, who is a gracious God? But that's very good that he explained about Allah. I do not know about Allah. I do not read Allah in the Bible, though I heard from them, but that's all. So let us talk about how do um, how do I see um, how do I see these similarities, and how do I feel, and what in the past I felt about it. Joseph Smith was the prophet of Mormonism. Where did he borrow Mormonism from? Nobody knows that. Only he is the evidence for that. Did he find any Egyptology from somewhere that he didn't want to share? Even the LDS people, LDS congregation, or the Mormon people, they do not know. Who is a Mormon angel? Is he an archangel? Is he the angel of the Bible? Or is he the angel of universe that was hidden somewhere in a cave, who just appeared? Mormon people do not know that. If you go to their church, they quietly sit, they talk, they just sit on the pews. Most of the Mormon people, they don't talk with each other, or they don't discuss or argue. They just sit, listen, and then they walk out. Are they sharing their faith, their religion? No, my friends, they are not doing that. I had been to Mormon church for so long. I studied that from person to person. I worked among people in my school system where there were so many Mormon people. One of the lady who was my boss, she was a Mormon, and she would like to talk to me, and she had a lot of doubts. And the first doubt that she mentioned with me, that was, did Mormonism come from Islamic cult? I told her that I do not know much, but I would like to study. It was about 5 years ago she asked me this question. Then after that I started studying about it, and it made me amused, fascinated, that I do believe, according to my studies, whatever I studied, I do believe Mormonism came from Islam. Mormonism came from Arabian cults. Both faiths were founded by a single solitary young man. This guy, Muhammad, he was a young man. Joseph Smith was a young man. When they found the religions, or they laid the foundation of the religions, Muhammad for Islam and Joseph Smith for Mormonism. Each claimed to be God's last great prophet. Both of them, Joseph Smith, Muhammad was a Badu from Arabia. Joseph Smith was a Caucasian. So a Caucasian person who had never been to school, and how can he write or try to understand the mythology of the religion? Because mythology take us to truth. It's like an allegory. When you study myth, it is like an allegory or a metaphor that take you to the truth, because our languages cannot hold and knit the theology properly, because languages are not perfect. All languages are not perfect. So that was the first thing. Both men, they were young. This Caucasian man whose name is Joseph Smith, and Muhammad, who is a Badu of desert. They both had not been to school, and they are young, and they have laid the foundation of two religions, two cults, two faith, two belief systems. And let's see what else I found. both men were disgruntled with their previous religion. I mean, they had problem with their previous faith. Were they member of the faith and they had problems? Did they study it? They have a problem? No. They both were uneducated. Joseph Smith was not totally uneducated. Maybe he was 6th grade or 7th grade, but Muhammad was totally uneducated. So they both are laying the foundation of new religions. But before that, they do not know, and they did not know about their religion, their faith, their values and moralities. Muhammad with Arabian polytheism and Smith with Episcopal Christianity. I mean, Muhammad is with Arabian polytheism because his family and all his background is with that. And Joseph Smith, he was from the Episcopal Christianity. Did they study it before they start? No, they both did not study the writings, and the history tells us that they did not study. Yet both incorporated polytheistic symbols and practices into their church liturgy. So that was the second thing. I mean, they both were, first, they were young, they were not educated. And the last thing that I would tell you is both men claimed extra biblical secrets, revelation from God by way of supernatural, and both claimed that these revelations came as a result of receiving a visit or the visits of an archangel. Muhammad claimed to be visited by the angel Gabriel, and Joseph Smith claimed to be visited by the angel Moroni. Moroni angel is not in the Bible. Archangel Gabriel is in the Bible, or it's in the Judaism, because when Muhammad created Islam cult, Christianity was present and Judaism was present. Christianity sprang from Judaism, or you can say Christianity is a cult of Judaism. But if somebody, it is how you use the word cult. Cult cannot be used for a bad purpose. Some people I have talked with on the Facebook, though they are the teachers and professors in the seminaries, I have talked with them and they use the word cultic in a loathful way. Cult is just a word. It is just, you can take an example, like Christianity is a religion. It's a big religion. And Jehovah's Witness comes out of it, or the Mormonism comes out of it. They both are cults. They take the belief system and they distort it or twist it, and they show that they are the founders, or they show they change the doctrines, and this is how the cult is. So Muhammad claimed to be visited by angel Gabriel, and Joseph Smith claimed to be visited by angel Moroni. Joseph Smith said that he was looking for a church. He was very much disturbed. He was looking for a true church. When he did not go to school, when he was not rationalized, he did not know much about the faith, the present faith of his Episcopal Christianity. What was he looking for in Christianity? Because Christianity is still same. Christianity is still there. There are Mormons who are about 14 to 15 million people. But it does not mean that the whole universe is Mormonism. That was his target. He wanted to make everybody Mormon, and he was giving them a new myth. He was giving them new doctrines, new ideas, new name, and new ideas about God even. New ideas about God. With the passage of time, as we will talk, I would surely talk with you about their theology and how I felt that theology and how I. So today I have discussed with you three things. And tomorrow we will do 3 or 4 things. In these 3 things, the first thing that I discussed is that Joseph Smith was a young man. He was a Caucasian white person who did not go to school. Maybe he was just 5 or 6 grade education. Muhammad did not go to school at all. And the other thing is, he is from that time in the desert where there was Christianity and where there was Judaism. Is he trying to restore Judaism and Christianity, or is he giving a new cult, a new belief system? Because when I see my friends, I love Muslim friends because they are my brothers. It does not mean that if your faith is different, you are not brother. No, that doesn't mean. Bible doesn't teach us that. Bible teaches us love every person, forgive every person, walk with every person. So that's the reason when Jesus was on the cross, the story tells us that there were 2 thieves on both sides, and one of them he just bragged, and one of them he asked for to remember him, and Jesus promised with him at once. Though Jesus was not his brother, I mean, he wasn't a Jew. I mean, maybe he's a Jew or not, I do not know, but it's not told in the story. But Jesus forgave him at once because he had the authority to forgive. He had the authority to raise dead. He had the authority. I do not call it just the miracles. He had that authority, and he could do that, and he showed us, and the history is witness for that. And books outside of the, like Eusebius, and there are many other Roman books which tell us that he did all these things. So they both were young. Joseph Smith was young and Muhammad was young. So that was the first thing. And the second thing is that both men were disgruntled with their previous religion. They had problem with that, whether it was a political problem, whether they were really seeking the truth, or what kind of truth they were seeking, or what kind of truth they introduced. If I studied Quran, I do not find that truth that they found. One God, there is always one God in the Bible. There is nowhere written 2 gods. The word Trinity is a doctrine. It's not told to us that there are 3 gods, because I see a lot of errors in the Islamic theology about Mary, about the Holy Spirit, and about the way logically they think they want to talk, but they do not understand the word logic. What does that mean? Where does the word logic come from? Sometimes they try to seek with the philosophy. Sometimes when they want to comprehend their own meaning, when they want to tell their own meaning, then they separate the philosophy from it. So both men, Muhammad with Arabian polytheism and Smith with Episcopal Christianity, they both did not know about their faith first. How they are trying to make another faith, how could they do that? But they did, and we would see and argue and discuss these things. Both men claimed extra biblical secret revelation from God by way of supernatural apparition, and both claimed that these revelations came as a result of receiving a visit or visits by the angels. Muhammad by the archangel, and Gabriel, by the archangel Gabriel, and Joseph Smith by the angel Moroni. The question arises when Muhammad got the visitation of the archangel in the cave by the name called Hira. The same archangel used to meet Moses, and he met Mary, mother of Jesus. Was this archangel a true angel that met Gabriel, that met Muhammad? Because to Mary, he brought the message of Messiah. He brought He brought the message of Jesus, Yeshua, who would be the Savior, and God felt grace on her. This angel Moroni, who brought the revelation on Joseph Smith, how could that Joseph Smith was a Mason, a third-degree Mason? Um, how could he understand the angel when in his mind he was a treasure hunter? He was not seeking God actually. If we make pictures today because of the technology that Joseph Smith is standing in the trees, among the trees, group of trees, and light is coming, it does not mean ministry. It's a media. It's the spreading of the word through images, icons, languages. So it's very difficult to believe these ideas. So Muhammad claimed to be visited by the angel Gabriel, and Joseph Smith claimed to be visited by the angel Moroni. Next time we will meet, I would discuss with you 3 more similarities. Keep these similarities and pray for them, so that God may open your mind and you could rationalize what is truth and what is false. So you could come up with these ideas yourself. You yourself could become a thinker, because we don't need people who just brag to us like frogs and parrots, and they do not let us dominate, or they try to dominate us because of their meta politics. So, my friends, try to rationalize yourself, think about it, give time to yourself so you could think, how could these possibilities could happen, and are these possibilities true, or somebody made them, or how they happen. Thank you so much, and may God bless you, and you take care of yourself.